morning, everyone. Today we are talking about how to get ready for an interview, what to wear, how do you do your hair, makeup, and what you should do the night before. So I'm going to start doing my hair, and I do it, nothing crazy. I just do normal style. I don't think you should experiment on the day that you're going to an interview. Like, you're nervous already, you don't want to have to worry about, I have to learn how to do this, I have to learn how to do that. I used every day this Calista Tools. It's like a hot brush. So this is hot, but there's no air, and every morning I use this. So as I talk, I'm just gonna go ahead and do my hair. So first, let's say I was told about the interview I'm going to on Wednesday. So my boss basically called me up and said, hey, I need you to go meet with the CFO on Friday. So I joked with her because I was basically like, not ask me if I'm interested, just tell me that I have to go. And she's like, yeah, I know you're interested. I'm not even gonna bother asking you. So that was 2 days ago. I had 2 days to prepare for this interview, and it wasn't really 2 days because it was the end of Wednesday. So what do I do the night before an interview? So basically yesterday, the night before an interview, you should print your resume, at least 3 copies, because you never know, even though you know you're gonna be with one person, you never know who they might bring into that interview to meet with you. Or if everything goes well, there may be other people that you have to meet with. So if you're meeting with like the head of a department, but they also nowadays do department head interviews where they get all the department heads to interview the candidate, the incoming candidate. So for example, if I hire anybody, they meet with me, they meet with my other employee, the manager, and then if everything is good, then they meet with the CFO of the facility. So today I'm meeting with the CFO of my facility. So last night I printed out 3 copies. And why should you do it the night before? Because you never know what you're going to run into. Like, for example, you might run out of ink. Your printer might start acting up. And one of my pet peeves, guys, is when you show up to an interview and you don't have your resume. For example, I interviewed someone the other day, and the first thing I asked for is their resume. And he says, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't bring it. I don't have a printer. I am very understandable of that, but if you know about your interview well in advance, then go to the library, ask a family member, ask a friend, or if that just doesn't work out, just call the place where you're interviewing and say, hey, I'm really sorry, I have an interview on X day and I don't have a printer, don't have access to a printer. Do you mind having a couple of copies extra? And that's quite all right, as a last resort. So, one of the things I encountered last night, I know I always have ink on hand, but my printer was acting up like terribly. It kept on printing double-sided, and I didn't have it set for double-sided, so I couldn't figure out what the issue is. I think it may be something in the way my resume is linked, because I pulled it off the website from where I had to apply for today's position. My hair is just like all sorts of flat today. So what I ended up doing is printing 3 copies of page 1, 3 copies of page 2, 3 copies of page, whatever page. And it worked like that. So imagine having to run into those issues day of your interview. Like, you're already nervous as crap. why have to worry about your printer? So that also, prepare. If it's a new company, learn about the company. If it's a hospital, for example, find out how many beds they have versus how many beds that you're coming from. Always speak on customer service. Also, always have examples, the for instance examples, because we all ask them. And they always start off, tell me about a time where you encountered and how did you handle that scenario. Always have some sort of example. It drives me insane when people are very general and say, oh, I would just tell, patients, for example, that, I'm here to do this, that, or the other, and, I try to resolve the issues. No, we want to hear examples because, in the customer service world that we're in now, we want to know, what have you encountered and how did you resolve the issue? And if not, what was the outcome of the issue? You can't always resolve every issue, right? But what was your takeaway? What did you learn from that for next time? The other thing you should do the night before, and I'm going to fix that later in the bathroom, but the other thing you should do the night before is get your outfit ready. You don't want to be in a mad dash in the morning, and you don't want to be in a mad dash in the morning and not know what you're going to wear, or have an idea of what you're going to wear, but then it doesn't fit. It has a stain. It doesn't look right with what you want to pair it with. And that's another thing, like, you don't want to be, oh my God, I don't know what to wear. It's just too much. You're already nervous. Like, it's too much. Okay, now I'm going to start doing my makeup. I'm just going to be using the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and I use 5.25. I don't know why I kept on saying the other day 4.25. That's so weird. Maybe that's why I keep on doing it and I getting the wrong colors. Another thing not to experiment with is your makeup. To go with what you know. If you start something new, try something new, you're gonna be concerned throughout the day of, how does it look? How does it feel? Or it doesn't feel right. I don't like it. I feel itchy. I feel dry. Go with what you know works. You have other things to think about, such as questions they may ask, questions you might want to ask. That's another thing. Another pet peeve of bosses is always have a question for them, and not the general question, so what are you looking for in XYZ position? They don't want to hear that. They hear that from every single candidate. Ask a question that's going to set you aside from the rest. Ask them about their background. How did they get to where they're at? What steps did they have to take to get to where they're at? Ask about the future of the company. Where are they looking to grow in the next 5 years? If there's multiple people there, ask, what their roles are and how did they get to their roles within the company? Have they grown but within the company? But just don't ask very generic questions about, oh, what are you looking for in a candidate? That can be maybe your final question, but don't let it be one of your first. It's very important to be prepared. When you're not prepared and you're already nervous, it's not going to work out. And you only have one opportunity to impress them. You may be the best candidate. You may truly be the best candidate. But if you don't show up prepared for that interview, or perceive or show them that you are the best candidate, they're never going to know that, because they don't, 9 times out of 10, they don't know you. And, that happened to me one time. I went to an interview in a different state, and my boss wanted me to do an interview over the phone with her for a different position, but it was with her and the other regional directors. And I just bombed it because, one, I hate interviews. I get super nervous. And two, the first interview had just rattled me. It was a joke interview, honestly, and I couldn't believe that they flew me all the way to a different state for that. But anyway, in that case, they gave me a second opportunity to interview because they know me, they know my character, they know how I am, and they knew that there was something up. That's not always gonna happen, guys. Like, in my 20-something years of work experience, that's the first time I've ever encountered that. So, go prepared, know your stuff, start preparing from the night before, bear study. Keep everything simple. Keep your hair simple, your makeup simple, and you will be fine. Be confident. Obviously, if you're applying for a position, it's because you're confident you're able to do that job. Explain to them why you are the best candidate. Why are you capable? And if you're nervous, it's normal to be nervous. I've stopped in the middle of an interview and said, I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous. Let me just think about that question for a minute. And that's fine. Purely fine. If anything, they respect you for just taking a minute, stopping, and thinking about what they're asking for. Because another thing is, if they ask you a question and you're just rambling off and it has nothing to do with their question. And if you don't know something, just purely say, you know what, you don't know right now, but you'll be more than happy to get back to them with that question. Don't ask about salary unless they ask you. 9 times out of 10, the person interviewing you does not have the authority on the salary. So for example, in my case, when I interview someone, I wouldn't be able to tell them about the salary because it's something that comes from our HR, and it's a lot into it. They consider the work history and how many years of customer service you have, etc. When it comes to what you're wearing, keep it simple. Always have a jacket in your wardrobe. Doesn't have to be something expensive. Just have a simple black jacket at an appropriate length. And don't ever drive in your jacket. Your jacket will be wrinkled. You'll feel uncomfortable. So I just have a simple shell underneath and a black sweater. And my interview is not till 1, but I'm going to be working out of the facility that I have the interview at. So I'm going to wear my cardigan for the majority of the day. When it's time for my interview, I will change into the jacket, and then after the interview, I will take my jacket off and put it in my bag. But if you're going straight to the interview, just hang it up in your car. Leave a hanger in my car, hang it up, When you get to your destination, put your jacket on. Don't ever go into an interview with your jacket in hand thinking that, oh, I'll just pop into their bathroom. You never know where their bathroom's going to be. Always be dressed appropriate. You don't have to be, this is bleeding on me. You don't have to be in something expensive. Just always have a nice shell, a jacket, and a pair of black pants. That could be your interviewing wardrobe. And it's 100% appropriate. So I'm just doing, basic, simple makeup. I don't like to, never go barefaced, even if you have to put a tinted moisturizer on or just cover any little imperfections that you may have. But look put together, guys. Always look put together for an interview. What I tell my staff is never dress for the job you have. Dress for the one you want, unless it's inappropriate. So, for example, when I was a team lead or a supervisor or a manager, when I was a team lead, I dressed for wanting to be a supervisor. When I was a supervisor, I dressed for how a manager would dress. And then when I was a manager, I would dress for how a director would dress. Being a director now, I always dress appropriate, put together, because you want to give that example to your staff, right? The only time I dress down a little bit, now I don't dress business. I don't wear my jacket every day. I keep a jacket in my office. But I always dress business casual, but at a higher of business casual. So you can show your team that is the expectation of what you want in that office or that environment. Unless they wear uniform, which my staff does. But I would want to show them, if you want to go to the next level, this is what you should be doing. So on my face, like I said, I use the Giorgio Armani foundation. I use the MAC base in Bare Study, Chanel eyeshadow and undertone. Very neutral. Everything is just very neutral. So it doesn't even look like I have makeup on, but I am uniformly put together. And if you're, look what I just did. I'll just let that dry off and wipe it up. If your interview is in the afternoon, but you have to be dressed for morning, then just take with you a few items that you can retouch later. So I'll bring my lipstick with me. I don't need to retouch foundation, but you could bring a powder with you. I don't need to retouch eyeliner, but I keep the items in my bag just because you never know what's going to happen. It could rain, you could get poured on. You just never know. your nails, keep them nice and neat. That's the one thing I hate when I interview somebody and they have these long ass fake nails and they're different colors, they're missing one or three. Trust me, it has happened. You just always want to see it being put together, because we look at appearance as that's the same person who's going to be showing to work or up to work every day. And do you want that at your place of work or not? There. Again, pick out your clothes the night before, because you're going to be way too nervous on the day of. Don't wear new shoes. You don't want to have your feet hurting because you haven't broken into those shoes. And there. I'm going to fix my hair. I just got to go to the bathroom and fix it. And that's it, guys. If I could think of anything else, I will come back on here later. I will come back on here later to let you know how it went. And I will put a picture of my outfit. I'm not going to be putting on my jacket until much later. So, alright guys, thank you for joining in. Have a good one. If you're looking at this video for inspiration because you're going on an interview, good luck. Be confident. Bring your resumes more than 2 copies. I would suggest try not to go in with a big old bag. Put your phone on ringer and be present. Look at them in the eyes. Ask questions. Listen to what they're saying so they don't have to repeat themselves. And above all else, just try to be confident. But it's okay to be nervous. I'm nervous for someplace I know where I'm going. So thank you so much for watching again. Everybody be safe, subscribe, and give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Bye. Hi everybody, I just wanted to come on here quick. It is really late. I am very tired from the whole interview process. It's around 9 o'clock at night, I believe. But this is how my makeup ended up. Still going strong after eating lunch and everything like that. I just put my jacket on and show you what I was wearing to an interview. You want to make sure you're as confident as can be. Make sure you eat a good breakfast or a good lunch depending at what time your interview is at. Make sure you're prepared. Have your resumes intact. I always use good quality paper when I am printing out my resumes, and make sure it has a different type of setup, like the name in a different color, something that sets your resume out aside from someone else's resume, something easily noticeable to the eye. The color paper I use is it's almost like certificate paper, but it also says resume paper. It does have like a tingy yellowish beigeish color to it. Make sure that you bring any extra materials, such as if you need to reapply your lipstick or a brush to comb hair that might have gone astray or anything like that. If the weather is raining, or just take an umbrella in case, so like that you don't get poured on. It does happen. Make sure you are wearing proper clothing. I remember one time I went for an interview many years ago, and I had like a body shaper on, but I also had stockings with a dress. And as I was going up the hill, the body shaper was rubbing with the stockings, and my stockings were going down and down and down. By the time I got in, I was like literally holding my stockings up by the side of my thighs. So if you have any questions or you want further videos on interviewing, like I said, I have been to many interviews, and I do conduct interviews very frequently for my current position. Or if you want to message me privately, I don't have any problem answering some questions or giving some tips or any tips, or if you want more videos on interviewing tips. So again, have a good night, guys. Thank you so much. Tomorrow I'll do the video on who won the giveaway for the sweepstakes for the 100 subscribers, and we'll continue our foundation travels. And let's see, I have an appointment tomorrow to get my nails done. Maybe I'll try a foundation early in the morning. If not, we'll start back up on Monday. Thank you so much. Give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I have a lot of content coming up. And stay safe, everybody.